Today we're going to look at several different designs and locations of fuel pressure regulators and some simple steps in determining if the fuel pressure regulator is functioning properly. It's very important to understand that the fuel pump makes volume. This volume is restricted by the fuel pressure regulator, thus creating the pressure in the system. If you're experiencing low pressure in your fuel system, this can be created by either a faulty pump or a fuel pressure regulator. Some systems it's hard to determine where the fuel pressure regulator is located. In these examples, the fuel pressure regulator is part of the module assembly and non-serviceable. In this hanger assembly, the fuel pressure regulator and fuel pump are serviceable separately. If we've got a faulty regulator, we could just put a pump in this application. We're still not going to solve our problem. Here we have two examples of fuel pump modules where the regulator is actually external to the fuel pump. Depending on your application, the fuel pressure regulator may be located on the fuel rail or as part of the fuel filter. In some newer applications, there's no mechanical fuel pressure regulator. Fuel pressure is actually controlled by the speed of the pump. These are pulse width modulated systems. If we're experiencing low pressure on an externally regulated system, we can take our fuel pressure gauge and hook directly to the outlet line of the fuel pump, cycle the key 2 to 3 times, and you should see the maximum pressure the pump is capable of. As you can see, we've got over 60 psi in this system. At this point, we can feel confident in replacing the fuel pressure regulator. One of the things you can check with a fuel rail mounted regulator is the vacuum line going to the regulator. You want to make sure that the source vacuum is good. Also, if the diaphragm is leaking in the regulator, you'll see fuel residue in the vacuum line. When you're experiencing a low fuel pressure issue, it's always best to fully diagnose each component in the system. We don't want to replace a component and then find out we didn't solve the problem.